The second season of Jurassic World's animated show Chaos Theory is officially here, and just like with season 1, it's filled with Easter eggs, nods, and references to all things Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. In this video, I'm going to dive into all of the references that we noticed in Chaos Theory Season 2. Spoiler warning if you haven't yet finished the new season. Welcome back to Jurassic Outpost, let's dive in. In the very first episode, Batten down the hatches, the Nublar 5 are hiding in a crate aboard the cargo ship, and above them we see a baryonyx. We think this might be the same baryonyx first seen in Camp Cretaceous on Isla Nublar. It has the same blue eye markings that the baryonyx Chaos had, but of course this might not be the same one, could just be one of the many other dinosaurs. While Darius has always been the one to identify dinosaurs based on the sounds they make, we get a nice moment where all of the campers are guessing the dinosaur based on the sound, showing their combined knowledge of dinosaurs and dinosaur behavior.
Baryonyx! How? What? How?
Inside this container, the group are camping out, reminding us of Eric Kirby in Jurassic Park 3, especially with those lamps. Kenji makes a reference to the group's living quarters at Camp Cretaceous.
You know, this place kind of reminds me of our sweet pad at Camp C. Shame there's no slide though.
While Kenji is sneaking around the ship to gather supplies for the group, we learn that the ship departed from a port in Louisiana, meaning we now have a location for the sequence at the end of season 1. We also learn that they've been aboard the ship for at least over a week. We also see this scene from season 1 playing out via a news report on the TV, and a quick headline about the dinosaurs being released from a commercial farm, possibly in reference to Claire's activities in the opening of Dominion.
Everybody good?
No!
Kenji states,
Mateo did it! He got the DPW's whole dino trade totally shut down.
confirming that Mateo fulfilled his goal from the end of season 1.
Well, I'm out.
Kenji opens a container and we find a number of dinosaur eggs, one belonging to Bumpy, who gave birth at the end of the last season. The Suchomimus is seen here, but it doesn't attack them, rather it seems pretty scared and remains inside its container. This species was first mentioned in the third Jurassic Park movie,
Suchomimus. Snow.
and was seen on the Jurassic World viral tie-in website for the DPG. It was a species at the Jurassic World Park, although never seen on screen, and unfortunately was cut from making an appearance in Dominion. The dinosaur's first real on-screen appearance was in Chaos Theory. As you will have seen in the very first episode, we meet a number of dinosaur species aboard the ship, including the Gallimimus, a staple dinosaur in the franchise, first seen in Jurassic Park and featured at the Jurassic World Park as well. This dinosaur has been featured in every Jurassic Park movie. We then meet the big bad new dinosaur this season, the Majungasaurus, first discovered in Madagascar and a real-life cannibal. It preyed on other Majungasaurs and carnivores, a great real-world paleo nod. The boat captain says,
It's just the power coming back on.
just like Gennaro does in Jurassic Park.
Maybe it's the power trying to come back on.
The boat captain even looks like our very own Jaden. Darius uses an app on his phone to play dinosaur sounds which help lure the dinosaur out. This is reminiscent of the Velociraptor resonating chamber in the third Jurassic Park movie. The lifeboat that the group escaped the cargo ship on, we can't help but be reminded of that deadly Ocean Gate sub. Ben watches the Dinosaur Liberation Now's video and spots Brooklyn in the background, her first appearance this season. The person in the raptor head mask will certainly remind some fans of an early concept for Jurassic Park 4, which never made it to production, but featured dinosaur-human hybrids. There was even concept art made by Carlos Huante to visually showcase this idea. Pretty spooky. Episode 2 is titled The Marooned 5, which is a reference to something many of you will understand. We are introduced to new character Zaina here in Senegal, approaching a herd of stegosaurs. This scene reminds us of the Stegosaurus introduction in The Lost World. There's even sun beaming through the plates. Another Gallimimus now, but this one, named Geba, features an all-new color scheme. It's also named after the Geba River that passes through southern Senegal. Yaz says,
It doesn't look like the uninhabited island of a deranged billionaire, so that's something.
Darius states,
I didn't think other continents had wild dinos.
establishing that much of the population is under the assumption that dinosaurs are localized to the United States. The group moving dinosaurs using plants is something they've done since Camp Cretaceous.
That's it?
Ben finds himself inside these very large tree roots while searching for a signal to look at Dark Jurassic. I wonder if he'll find any eggs. The two riding these herbivores reminds us of Ben riding Bumpy in Camp Cretaceous. The third episode's title spells out Clever Girl, which is a nod to the iconic phrase uttered by Muldoon right before the Velociraptor. Well, you know the rest.
Clever girl.
We think Brooklyn's t-shirt Silent Dreams might be a reference to something, but either way, it is a bit of a nod to the nightmares that she's having. Brooklyn says she leaves her jacket on purpose because it holds her deepest, darkest secrets. In the first season, when looking through her jacket, Darius and Sammy find the all-important map. Brooklyn's necklace has some sort of dinosaur on it. What dinosaur do you think this is supposed to be? The motorcycle she uses is reminding us of Owen Grady's from Jurassic World. In this episode, we get a flashback from Brooklyn's perspective of a scene you will be familiar with from season 1. We see the events leading up to Kenji and Brooklyn's breakup, and we then see what happened afterwards. Brooklyn heads to her secret apartment, something also revealed to us in the first season, and we see the duffel bag that Daniel Kahn, Kenji's father, dropped off. The duffel bag full of money. This gives us much more context for these scenes and a whole new perspective of the event.
I'm heading to NorCal, and I have cash. Put the word out that you know a new buyer.
We also are treated to Brooklyn's perspective of the night of the Allosaurus attack, which shows her making the now infamous video message to Darius. It's at this very moment that she receives a voicemail via Doc Jurassic, which tells her,
My account was hacked. Whoever told you about the dino drop wasn't me.
Meaning that Brooklyn had been set up. It's at this moment that the iconic Allosaurus approaches her, but while running, we hear the very distinctive whistle from that of the handler. In a twist that many weren't expecting, Brooklyn is approached by the pack of Atrociraptors, which surround her, and we see the handler approach. We last saw this robot raptor lady in the very first season. She instructs the raptors to attack Brooklyn, but the Allosaurus wants a piece of the action, leading to a fight reminiscent of the T-Rex versus raptors in the first Jurassic Park. And in quite the twist, we learn that it wasn't the Allosaurus that took Brooklyn's arm, but instead one of the Atrociraptors. We see this compy, first introduced in The Lost World, wearing a cone, injured inside a cage. This dinosaur, almost now resembling a pet, is being cared for by Brooklyn and Ronnie, and the whole compy in a cage is very reminiscent of the Dino Tracker video from Dominion's marketing. DPW agent Ronnie is CleverGirl86 on the Dark Jurassic website and has been helping and caring for Brooklyn while in hiding. You will recognize this DPW double agent as the guy who went against Cabrera in the first season, leading to the handler killing Cabrera with her pack of raptors.
Did you hear me? I said... You really think you're the one who's been calling the shots this whole time?
We learn that this guy has been working for the handler and likely the broker for quite some time. Here he is seen sneaking into Ronnie's cabin to look for evidence. In the fourth episode, The Adjustment, we open at this dinosaur holding location, which reminds us of the first time we see Claire in Dominion, and we notice a number of iconic herbivore species here: a Pachyrhinosaurus, an Asutoceratops, a Parasaurolophus, and a Stygimoloch. We then see many of these dinosaurs being let out of their cages under the cover of darkness, just like in the Lost World Jurassic Park. We see members of the Dinosaur Liberation Now group sporting these Velociraptor head masks, noticing one that looks very reminiscent of Blue, the Velociraptor, first seen in Jurassic World. These head masks can also be found in real life, made by Mattel. We learn more about Brooklyn's story here. She's working for this group, but undercover, going by the name of Sydney. Brooklyn, or Sydney, discovers that the raid they just did took place near an airport, leading to her and Ronnie discovering that all of the raids by the DLN were locations close in proximity to airports. When they pull up the flight data, we see a handful of locations: the Bahamas, China, Georgia, Canada, the Ivory Coast, and Malta. Ben's username on Dark Jurassic is Bumpy2015, a nice little nod to his favorite dino pal. And 2015 was the year that Jurassic World was released. When Ben is checking for supplies on the Titan sub, we see Pac-Man on the water bottles. Not a Jurassic nod, but come on, Pac-Man's pretty fun. In episode 5, Troubled Waters, Ben says to Kenji,
"You remember the gyrosphere on Nublar? I will not have that happen again.
Let me show you how it's...
He then receives a scam message through Dark Jurassic. I mean, I get these kind of emails too. When Brooklyn begins exploring the broker's penthouse suite, we notice a few objects on the shelf. One specifically stands out, the Velociraptor resonating chamber from Jurassic Park 3. And of course, the opening of Camp Cretaceous.
Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? There it is!
And the identity of the broker is finally unveiled to us. It's Soyona Santos from Jurassic World Dominion.
I do have another job for you. Short hot money's double.
A fantastic inclusion in the animated show.
Shupcha Melehena.
An iconic Jurassic Park dinosaur has made it to Western Africa, the Brachiosaurus. Kenji also vocalizes to it, something the group of ex-campers did while at Camp Cretaceous. We learn more about the broker here, about Soyona Santos' backstory, something writer of the show Scott Creamer told us Colin Trevorrow was also very heavily involved in creating. The actress who played Soyona in Dominion has also returned to the franchise to voice her animated form. Welcome back, Deechan Lackman. Soyona states,
My business takes me all over.
And when asked about her business, she says,
Call it paleontology.
She reveals that her mother was part of the dig that discovered the fighting dinosaurs in Mongolia. This is a real-world reference. A velociraptor and a protoceratops fought to the death and were fossilized as such. Scientists believe that an avalanche of sand swept over these two enemies, preserving them in the heat of the battle. They were unearthed in 1971 and are considered a national treasure of Mongolia. There are a lot of real-world paleo connections and references in this season. And shortly after she reveals this, we see a raptor claw tapping on the ground, just like in the kitchen scene from Jurassic Park. The tapping raptor is revealed to be Red, the Atrociraptor, first seen in Jurassic World Dominion with the other pack. Red was absent from season 1, with just the 3 raptors making up the Handlers pack. Now we know what Red was up to. Soyona reveals that
Red doesn't attack, unless I tell her to.
Revealing the remote that we first saw her handling in Dominion. She says,
Amazing the control you can have over these creatures when you really take the time to earn it.
I'm not sure about you, but this kind of feels like a dig at Owen's attempts to control the raptors.
Hey! What did I just say?
Kenji swims to retrieve the flare gun, a very Jurassic Park 3 coded scene. During this raptor attack sequence, Brooklyn runs into the elevator while the raptor charges, reminding us of the iconic scene from Fallen Kingdom. In the 6th episode, Up the River, while the boat sails away, we see bubbles rise from under the water. This shot quite reminiscent of the boat scene in Jurassic Park 3. And here we see a non-prehistoric animal, a hippo. We have dinosaurs interacting with real animals in the wild. This one isn't an egg, just something that we noticed many people have wanted to see. In episode 7, All Night Long, while the group discuss how to go back for Yasmina, Sammy states,
Land, water, air? It's all dangerous, Zayna!
reminding us of the synopsis for the upcoming Jurassic World Rebirth movie, which states, this action-packed new chapter sees an intrepid team racing to secure DNA samples from the 3 most colossal creatures across land, sea, and air. This compy seen as a silhouette in the foreground is similar to when we see the compy on Main Street in Fallen Kingdom. While hiding in the trees, Yasmina is attacked by a group of Dimorphodons. These large-headed terrors were introduced at the Jurassic World Park and brought havoc to the guests. They also already attacked Yasmina and co. in Camp Cretaceous. Yasmina swimming in the water away from a large dinosaur certainly reminds us of her doing the same thing in the Mosasaurus arena in Season 1 of Camp Cretaceous. And when these two behemoths battle it out, the fight plays out quite like the Rex vs Spino battle in Jurassic Park 3. In the 8th episode, Lab Partners Part 1, we see a herd of kentrosaurs by the river. This herbivore species was first introduced in Camp Cretaceous, being bred on Manticore Island. We also get another returning dinosaur. These Monolophosaurs were first introduced in the 3rd season of Camp Cretaceous. This time, however, they're on chains. These monos, once free from their chains, attempt to get through the doors to attack Ben and Kenji, just like they did in Kenji's father's penthouse in Camp Cretaceous. Once deeper inside the lab, we see dinosaurs stored in some type of cryogenic or suspended state, which is just like the laboratory sequence in Jurassic Park 3. In these containers, we see a number of recognizable species, a baby Brachiosaurus, a Baryonyx, and what looks to be a Lystrosaurus, the little dude from the dino fighting arenas in Malta in Dominion. Zayna says,
I know how cloning works. We learned about it at school.
Oh.
And while not an egg, it's a cool nod to show how the world has adapted and changed post the Jurassic World Park. It's here that we are introduced to another Pterodino for this season. It's an eyeless Baryonyx. It's not just blind, it's missing its eyes entirely. This is based on a real condition called leucism, a condition in animals which causes the lack of pigmentation in its skin. It's revealed that the scientist altered its genetic code to remove its eyes, and its lack of eyes is enhancing the other dinosaurs' senses, leading to the increased hearing. In the second part of this episode, we see Soyona and Brooklyn by Soyona's jet. This very well could be the same plane that we see in Jurassic World Dominion, further tying the live-action series to that of the animated world. The Brachiosaurus is back, and it stands on its hind legs just like it did in Jurassic Park.
We're gonna make a fortune with this place.
In this episode, we meet a new scientist who's been working in this lab under the guide of Soyona Santos. This geneticist, much like Dr. Wu and others, goes rogue with power, doesn't follow direct orders, and tries to modify genomes beyond logic or compassion. This scientist gone rogue does appear to be quite a Jurassic theme. Brooklyn saves Soyona Santos here, earning her trust. All of this scenario that we see here is making us think that the line she speaks to Dodgson in Dominion,
I didn't like what happened last time.
Okay, just call me when it's done.
Could be referencing this. In the very last episode, Reunion, the dinosaur scene here communicates similarly to that of the Raptor Squad and the Indominus Rex in Jurassic World.
Something's wrong. They're communicating.
The Atrociraptor, showing its smarts, learns how to make the thumb click sound, therefore being able to control the eyeless Baryonyx, and turns it on the scientist.
If there's one thing the history of evolution has taught us, it's that life will not be contained. Life breaks free, it expands to new territories, and it crashes through barriers painfully, maybe even dangerously, but, well, there it is.
This control room here reminds us of the control room that we see in Jurassic World. This Baryonyx reveal also reminds us of the Baryonyx reveal from Fallen Kingdom.
Deep breaths, Franklin.
And when we meet Zayna's father, his vehicle reminds us of the Mercedes used by staff at Jurassic World.
Nangadef! Someone call the Baba taxi!
The all-important reunion of Brooklyn and her fellow campers happens here, but not in the way you would expect. There aren't any hugs, any embraces, just an emotional decision being made by Brooklyn to go with Soyona. Brooklyn says,
Wait, you're partnering with Biosyn?
Which is a name drop to the company introduced in Dominion and proof that Soyona works for this company, or at least partners with Louis Dodgson later on. This certainly ties things very close to the story that we learn in Jurassic World Dominion. And that appears to be all of the Easter eggs, nods, and references that we caught in Season 2 of Jurassic World Chaos Theory. Did you enjoy this second season, and what did you think of the broker? What eggs have we missed? Be sure to let us know down below in those comments, and if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more Jurassic World.